Hello, lovely listeners, and good morning, Kim.
Good morning, Joe. Good morning, everyone. It is Monday.
It is.
Jill had an interesting event at her house this weekend.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, we did. It was a beautiful, pretty early morning on Saturday. So, you know that sunrise summer, like magical time. It's everything's waking up. There's a lot of times there's a light dew. I'm not sure. I was looking outside. I wasn't walking through the grass at that time. But anyway, it was a very, very like magical kind of time of the day. It was quiet. Most people are sleeping. And we see we see a doe in our yard. And we see deer around here on occasion. We see them across the way from us more often than in our yard. And shortly after we saw the doe, she was nice sized too, so she's been around for a while. She knows the earth game. She wasn't a yearling or anything like that. And after we saw her, about I don't know, 15, 20 minutes later, we saw her little baby fawn was in the yard, all sitting there just looking adorable and tiny. And it was just this incredible experience to see. And then Kim, it kind of took a I don't want to call it a turn, but it was the experience started to shift. I could feel it shifting. I was like, what's going on here? And there was something that wasn't okay with the baby fawn, which we didn't know at the time. Because for those of you who don't know, when a fawn is around, the thing you're supposed to do is leave them alone. And the fawn was there and mom was around. And so we were letting them do their thing to not interrupt their natural cycle, that they know how to do all this stuff. Even when you find a fawn and mom's not around, you're still supposed to leave them alone because that's the advice, if you will. And so that's what we were doing. And then it took its turn and we realized that baby Fawn wasn't standing up, wasn't moving, and mom was still around watching attentively and from a distance. And then after it was a time from that passed, we realized that the baby Fawn didn't survive. And so we don't know if what that cause was, but Kim, what was just incredible was this magical morning with this event that never experienced or seen before and wanting so much to see this little baby fawn stand up and take its first few steps as we thought it was. We assumed the baby had just been born, the fawn had just been born. Again, we do not know because we didn't witness all of it. So we were, making, well, quite honestly, kind of making stuff up as it went along. And when the baby fawn didn't stand up and we realized that she probably wasn't going to make it, it was like really it became more of a mind game after that, Kim, than anything else.
Yep.
And the metaphysical meaning of deer and fawn, there's some pretty amazing stuff in there. Then, of course, when you get into death, that takes a whole nother angle. um, I think I'm still really a bit in awe of the whole experience on all of its levels.
It's like you have the excitement of birth.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna, the metaphysical meaning, I look it up for deer, grace, gentleness, intuition, connection to nature, um, quickness. There's some purity. There's some innocence there, especially as a baby. And there's fertility, renewal. So it's like you have
Yeah.
this birth of all this stuff happening, and then it like goes away. Then
Yeah.
you have grief. And what I was getting out of this is that there might be some um, internal things that somebody's going through. Not doesn't have to be necessarily Jill. She just happened to be in the moment to be able to share this experience with other people. But you had this moment where you have this like excitement for intuition, maybe some purity, some connection to nature, and then it didn't go your way. It didn't go your way. It didn't go the way that you thought it was going to go.
Yeah.
And then it got taken away. And then you start like, why? what? Well, I thought I was supposed to have the intuition. I thought I was supposed to have purity. Like, I thought that's where it was going to go. And then when you start like these emotions, these feelings, these um, doubts start creeping in. And it was to release the old patterns or the old belief systems on how you interpreted or how you perceived or anything that was still holding you back from receiving these gifts, receiving these connections. So the connection to nature, it was about to like, okay, the old ways are dying, new ways are coming in. So we had to like go through this process so then the new could come in.
Right. Right. And the and seeing the new, which in this, if you look at in this case, this fawn, and then seeing that fawn go away is not what you're saying about the new coming in. It's new, it's even seeing this whole cycle of birth and death.
Yeah.
Quite honestly, it's the cycle itself is as natural to life as it comes. It's the other judgments and the mind piece that we add into it that can really make it what do I want to say, challenging to like glean the pull out the metaphysical or the messaging or the wisdom from something like that. And I'll tell you, this situation was, in terms of a life death experience and what it means and the metaphysical of it was quite, if you will, distant from me, because the deer came in, it was here, and then this situation was gone. Where when someone deals with this kind of a cycle of life with someone or something that's been around for a long time, it's much more intense, all the experiences you have with it. And I think the big thing for me is like this mind thing. Like I felt myself judging stuff. It was like I was harming myself after the fact with it rather than just being with it. And it was a challenge, Kim, to come back to just being with it, to drop my judgments, to drop my overanalyzing, to stay in that openness of just being with what was bubbling up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Change can be hard. Like when that excitement to see something grow and develop and like everything to flourish. And just gone.
Yeah. And then when it doesn't, and I think it's degrees of grief in that process that, quite honestly, I don't think many of us are very, I don't think we have much skill in this, like the death cycle of life. Or the death cycle of, say, our intuition of information coming through, or like you said, Kim, just when we don't get what we want. And there's something about just being able to be with those things. I'd use the word raw about it, just being with it raw, nothing else, just be with it. And I actually had a moment, Kim, where being with it got to be too much. And I just said, you know what? This has got to be turned down. This has got to be lightened up. This has got to come in smaller increments. But yeah, anyway, it's a pretty deep, multifaceted message for a Monday morning.
It is.
But I knew it coming in, and I knew it. I was like, Kim and I just talked this morning, and I was like, yeah, I knew that this is going to be the message. And part of me was like, I don't want this to be the message. But I do want it to be the message because it's powerful stuff, and the way to be able to get into ultimately back into some that love and magic, if you will, about the whole situation is you have to travel through it. You have to travel through all of it, through the rawness of it. And everyone's process of doing that is a little bit different. I just hope people can take a look at their own selves and the things that excitement, when they don't have it happen the way that they want, and that, especially when it's real light grief, intuition, and you start judging your intuition and it didn't work out how you want, would be a perfect time to just sit with that and go, I need a process for letting things go away.
Ooh, I like. Oh.
Yeah. Change is tough, like you said, but if we have, just like anything else, a way of embracing it.
Yeah.
We'll have the tools we need. All right.
Beautiful, Jill. Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Kim, and thank you, everyone, for listening.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. Until next time.